No engines, no shields, just a floating metal box. How did you? Kex's voice was shocked. You forgot, brother, Zara said calmly. I was queen for 20 years. I know every Zorathi ship design by heart. The battle was over. Admiral Chen's voice came over the radio. Prince Kex, you are defeated. Surrender now and your crew will be treated fairly. A long silence. Then quietly, I surrender. 1 week later, Jake stood in the observation deck of Earth Command headquarters. Beside him, Zara watched the stars through the great window. Her armor was now fully repaired and gleaming like liquid gold. The Zorathi Council has agreed to peace talks, Jake said, reading from a tablet. They want you to be their representative. Zara smiled. And they want you to be Earth's representative. Me? But I'm just an engineer. You're the human who taught a queen about kindness, Zara corrected. You showed my people that there's another way to live. Jake looked out at space, where human and Zorathi ships now flew together on patrol. Hard to believe it all started with repairing your armor. Zara reached out and touched his hand gently, the same way he had first touched her armor. You repaired more than my armor, Jake Miller. You repaired my heart. And you taught me that being gentle isn't the same as being weak, Jake replied. Outside the window, a new type of ship flew past. A joint design built by human and Zorathi engineers working together. It was beautiful, combining the elegant curves of human design with the strength of Zorathi metal. What happens now? Jake asked. Zara squeezed his hand. Now we build something better. A future where no one has to be alone. Jake smiled at his alien friend. I like that future. In the months that followed, Jake and Zara would travel the galaxy together, showing other species that cooperation was stronger than conquest. They became legends, the gentle human engineer and the warrior queen who chose peace. And whenever people asked how they did it, they always gave the same answer. Sometimes, the gentlest touch creates the strongest bonds. The universe was a little bit brighter because Jake Miller had chosen kindness, and Queen Zara had chosen to trust it. And in the end, that made all the difference. Zara stepped in front of Jake protectively. Let the human go. Your fight is with me. The human helped a traitor. He dies too. The lead soldier raised his weapon. Jake saw the energy building up, ready to fire, but Zara was faster. Even with damaged armor, she moved like lightning. She grabbed a broken pipe from the wall and threw it like a spear. It hit the soldier's weapon, knocking it from his hands. Run, Jake, she yelled. The second soldier fired at Jake. Zara jumped between them, her armor absorbing the blast. The energy made her golden armor glow white-hot, but she stayed standing. Jake pulled out his plasma cutter, a small tool used for repairs, but it could cut through metal. He aimed it at the third soldier's helmet and fired. The beam cut through the soldier's face shield, blinding him temporarily. This way. Jake grabbed Zara's hand and pulled her down another corridor. Behind them, the soldiers shouted in their alien language and gave chase. How did they find us? Zara asked as they ran. They're tracking your armor's energy signature, Jake realized. Every time I repair it, it gets stronger. They reached another junction. Jake checked his scanner again. 15 soldiers between us and the shuttle bay. Too many, Zara said. Jake, leave me here. Save yourself. Not happening. Jake was thinking fast. Zara, can your armor send a signal? Yes, but why would... Her golden eyes widened as she understood. You want to use me as bait, not you. Your armor's signal. We're going to make them think you're going somewhere else. Jake quickly programmed her armor to broadcast a fake signal. This will make them think you're heading to the emergency pods on the other side of the station. Within minutes, they heard soldiers running past their hiding spot, following the false signal. Brilliant, Zara whispered. You fight with your mind instead of weapons. Sometimes the brain is the best weapon, Jake replied. They made it to the shuttle bay without seeing any more soldiers. But when they got there, Jake's heart sank. All the shuttles had been disabled. Their engines were torn apart, their fuel tanks drained. Prince Kex is thorough, Zara said grimly. He made sure we couldn't escape. Jake looked around desperately. Then he saw it, an old maintenance pod in the corner. It was barely big enough for 2 people and wasn't designed for long-distance travel. Can that thing fly? Zara asked. Maybe. For a little while. Jake ran to the pod and started checking its systems. It's not fast, but it might get us away from the station. The warships will destroy us before we get a kilometer away. Jake grinned. That's where my second idea comes in. Zara, does your brother know about the attack plans? No, only I knew about them. Perfect. Then he doesn't know why you really ran away. He thinks you're just a traitor trying to save yourself. Jake finished his quick repairs on the pod. We're going to send those plans to Earth Command right now, while we're still on the station. Zara's armor connected to the station's communication system. Message transmitted, she announced. Earth Command will receive the attack plans in 2 hours. Good. Now comes the dangerous part. They climbed into the tiny pod. Jake started the engines while Zara squeezed in beside him. She was so tall that she had to fold herself up like an origami crane. Jake, even if we escape, where will we go? The entire Zarathi Empire will hunt us. Jake piloted the pod out of the shuttle bay and into space. Behind them, the 3 warships were massive and threatening, their weapons charging up. We're not running away, Zara. We're going home. Home? Earth, my planet, where people will welcome you as a hero, not hunt you as a traitor. Prince Kex's voice came over the radio, cold and cruel. Sister, you cannot escape. Surrender now and I will kill you quickly. Zara took the radio. Kex, I have one thing to say to you. What is that, traitor? Zara looked at Jake and smiled. I learned something from the humans. Sometimes the gentlest touch creates the strongest bonds. She cut the radio connection and turned to Jake. Whatever happens next, thank you for showing me what friendship means. The warships opened fire. Energy beams lit up the space around their tiny pod. Jake pushed the engines to maximum power, dodging between the deadly blasts. But he was smiling. Because Earth Command now had the attack plans, because Zara was free, and because sometimes the smallest actions could change everything. Hold on, Jake told his alien friend. We're going to show your brother what humans do when someone threatens our friends. Behind them, 3 massive warships gave chase, but ahead of them, Earth's defense fleet was already moving to intercept. The real battle was about to begin. Space around the station exploded with light as energy beams crossed back and forth. Jake pushed their tiny pod through the deadly battle, dodging blasts that could vaporize them instantly. There! Zara pointed ahead. Earth ships. 6 sleek human warships dropped out of hyperspace, their weapons already charging. Jake had never been so happy to see the blue and white colors of Earth Defense Force. Unknown vessel, this is Admiral Chen. A calm voice came over their radio. Identify yourself. This is Jake Miller, engineer from Station Alpha 7. I have Queen Zara of the Zarathi with me. She's the one who sent you the attack plans. A pause. Then, copy that, Mr. Miller. We received the intelligence. All Earth forces protect that pod. The human ships moved into formation around Jake and Zara's tiny vessel. But Prince Kex's 3 warships were massive, each one bigger than 2 human ships combined. Humans, Prince Kex's voice boomed across all radio channels. Give us the traitor queen and we will spare your pathetic vessels. Admiral Chen responded calmly. Negative, Prince Kex. Queen Zara is under Earth protection. She's a hero who saved billions of lives. Hero? Kex laughed cruelly. She is a coward who betrayed her own people. Jake looked at Zara. Her golden eyes were fixed on her brother's flagship. He will never stop hunting me, Jake. Even if we win today, he will keep coming. Then we make sure he can't, Jake said simply. The first exchange of fire was terrifying. Zarathi weapons were more powerful, but human ships were faster and smarter. They moved like schools of fish working together, while the Zarathi ships fought alone. One human ship was hit and started spinning out of control. Jake watched in horror as it crashed into an asteroid. We're losing, Zara said sadly. My people are too strong. But Jake was watching the battle with engineer eyes. No, look closer. Your brother's ships aren't working together. They're each trying to be the strongest. Zara looked and realized Jake was right. The 3 Zarathi ships kept getting in each other's way, each captain trying to claim the glory of killing her. Zarathi never learned to cooperate, she said with wonder. We only know how to dominate. That's their weakness, Jake realized. He grabbed the radio. Admiral Chen, the Zarathi ships can't coordinate. If you can separate them, already on it, Mr. Miller. Watch and learn. The human ship split into two groups. One group attacked from the left, drawing two Zorathi ships away. The other group surrounded Prince Kex's flagship. Clever humans, Kex snarled over the radio. But you cannot defeat Zorathi Honor. His ship fired everything it had at the nearest human vessel. But the human ship was ready. It dropped behind an asteroid at the last second. Kex's massive blast hit empty space. Now, Admiral Chen shouted. All 5 remaining human ships fired at once. Their combined blast hit Kex's ship from 6 different angles. The Zorathi flagship's shields flickered and failed. Impossible. Kex screamed, but Jake was already moving. He piloted their little pod straight toward the damaged flagship. Zara, can you broadcast to your brother's crew? Yes, but why? Trust me. Zara opened a channel to Kex's ship. Her voice rang out strong and clear. Warriors of the Zorathi Empire. I am Queen Zara, your rightful ruler. Inside the flagship, Jake could see the crew through the windows. They stopped fighting and listened. Your prince led you here to capture a traitor, Zara continued. But I am not a traitor. I saved innocent lives. I stopped a dishonorable attack on defenseless worlds. That is what a true Zorathi warrior does. Some of the crew began nodding. Jake could see doubt in their faces. Silence! Kex yelled. I am your commander now. But Zara wasn't finished. Look around you. See how the humans fight. They protect each other. They work together. They fight for justice, not just glory. Which is more honorable, killing innocents or protecting them? On the other 2 Zorathi ships, Jake could see more crews listening. Some were putting down their weapons. I learned something from these humans, Zara said, her voice carrying across space to every Zorathi ear. True strength isn't about who can hit hardest. True strength is about who you choose to protect. Prince Kex's voice was desperate now. Do not listen to her lies. But it was too late. On the first Zorathi ship, the crew turned on their officers. On the second ship, the captain himself stood down. Only Kex's flagship kept fighting. If you will not surrender, Admiral Chen said sadly, then we will stop you by force. Wait, Jake said. He looked at Zara. There's another way. Jake piloted their pod right up to Kex's ship. Using his engineering tools, he connected to their hull. Zara, can you access your brother's ship systems from here? Yes, but her golden eyes widened as she understood. You want me to shut down his weapons? More than that. I want you to shut down everything except life support. Zara's fingers danced over her armor's controls. Within seconds, Prince Kex's mighty flagship went dark. No weapon. I am still deciding, Zara replied. But Jake could hear the smile in her voice. Behind them, soldiers entered the crashed ship shouting orders. But the tunnel was already sealed. Jake and Zara disappeared into the shadows of the station, beginning a friendship that would change both their worlds. In the darkness, Zara spoke one more time. Jake Miller, you touch my soul as gently as you touched my armor. Jake's heart skipped a beat. He was starting to understand that saving Zara might save them all. The old storage bay was dark and cold. Jake found an emergency light and turned it on. The small room was filled with broken equipment and forgotten supplies. Perfect for hiding. Zara sat carefully on an old crate. Her armor was still damaged, but she looked stronger than before. The golden metal glowed softly in the dim light. Your people will search everywhere, Zara said quietly. They will find us. Jake was checking the door locks. Not if we're smart about it. I know this station better than anyone. I've been fixing things here for 5 years. Through the walls, they could hear soldiers marching through the corridors. Voices shouted orders. Heavy boots stomped on metal floors. Search every room. Check all the maintenance areas. The alien could be anywhere. Zara pulled her knees to her chest. Even sitting like that, she was almost as tall as Jake standing up. They sound angry. They're scared, Jake corrected. Humans get loud when we're scared. Zara looked confused. But you are not loud. You're not angry. Jake sat down across from her. I'm terrified. But being loud won't help right now. You are very different from other humans, Zara observed. Maybe, or maybe you just haven't met the right humans yet. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Jake worked on her armor with small tools while Zara watched his gentle hands. The quiet was broken when Jake's communicator buzzed. Jake, where are you? It was Captain Morrison's voice. We need all engineers to report for alien ship analysis. Jake turned off the communicator without answering. You will get in trouble, Zara said with concern. Probably, Jake shrugged. It won't be the first time. Zara studied his face in the dim light. Jake Miller, why are you not afraid of me? Jake looked up from her armor. Should I be? I am Zorathi royalty. I have killed many enemies in battle. I have conquered planets. I have made entire armies surrender with fear. Zara's voice was matter-of-fact, not boastful. And yet you risked everything to save people you've never met, Jake replied. That tells me more about who you are than any war story. Zara was quiet for a long moment. Do you want to know how I became queen? Jake nodded, continuing to work on a damaged power coupling. I was born on a battleship, Zara began. My mother was the previous queen. She died in battle when I was 10 years old. The crown fell to me because I was the strongest fighter of her children. That's terrible. You were just a child. Zorathi do not stay children long, Zara said sadly. I had to fight my own brothers for the right to rule. I won, but I had to kill 2 of them. Jake's hands stopped working. Zara, it is our way, she continued. The strong rule, the weak serve or die. I became queen at 12 years old. For 20 years, I have ruled through fear and strength. But you don't like it, Jake observed. It wasn't a question. Zara looked surprised. How do you know? The way you talk about it. The way you saved those people. The way you cry for strangers. Jake resumed working on her armor. You have a good heart, Zara. Even if your people tried to make you hard. Tears started flowing down Zara's blue cheeks. I have always been alone, Jake. A queen cannot show weakness. A queen cannot have friends. Everyone who serves me does it because they have to, not because they want to. Jake moved closer to her. That sounds like prison. It is, Zara whispered. A golden prison. Do you know what it's like to be surrounded by people, but completely alone? Jake thought about his own life. Always the quiet one, always working alone, always fixing things while other people talked and laughed together. Yeah, actually I do. Zara looked at him with new understanding. You are lonely too. Sometimes, but I chose my loneliness. You had yours forced on you. They sat closer together now. Jake could smell something like cinnamon and starlight on her skin. It was alien but pleasant. When I discovered the attack plans, Zara continued, I knew I had to act. The generals wanted to destroy 12 peaceful worlds. Billions of innocent lives. Families like I wish I could have had. What kind of families? Jake asked gently. Families where parents hug their children instead of training them to fight. Where people laugh together instead of plotting war. Where, Zara's voice broke, where someone might touch you gently like you touch my armor. Jake's heart ached for her. He reached out slowly and touched her hand. She jumped slightly at first, then relaxed. You can have that kind of family, Zara. It's not too late. How? I'm a queen without a kingdom. A warrior without an army. My own people want me dead. Before Jake could answer, alarms started blaring throughout the station. Red warning lights flashed through the cracks around the door. A voice echoed over the speakers. Attention all personnel. 3 Zorathi warships have been detected approaching our position. All civilians to emergency shelters immediately. Zara went pale. They found me. Through the walls they could hear panicked voices. It's a full battle fleet. They're demanding we hand over the traitor queen. If we don't give her up, they'll destroy the station. Jake squeezed Zara's hand. How long before they get here? 20 minutes, maybe less, Zara said, her warrior training taking over. Jake, you have to hide. When they board the station, stay away from me. I will not let you be hurt because of me. No. Jake's voice was firm. We're in this together now. You don't understand. These are not just any Zorathi ships. I recognize the energy signatures. Zara's golden eyes filled with terror. It's my brother's fleet. Your brother. Prince Kex, the one I should have killed 20 years ago. Zara's voice shook. He has wanted my throne since we were children. Now he has his excuse to take it. The station shook as the Zorathi ships got closer. In the distance they could hear Captain Morrison's voice over the radio. This is Station Commander Morrison. We are willing to negotiate. Then a new voice answered, cold and cruel, speaking perfect English. There will be no negotiation, human. Give us Queen Zara and we will let your station live. Refuse and we will take her from your wreckage. Zara closed her golden eyes. It's over, Jake. I'm sorry I brought this danger to you. But Jake was thinking fast, studying her armor, looking at the data ports where the stolen plans were hidden. Zara, can your armor record messages? Yes, but why? Because we're going to make sure those plans get to the right people, even if we don't make it out of here. Zara stared at him. You still want to help me even now? Even knowing we might die? Jake smiled at her, his gentle hands already working on her armor's communication system. Zara, you gave up everything to save strangers. The least I can do is help you finish the job. Outside, Prince Kex's ships moved closer and time was running out. Jake's fingers flew over Zara's armor controls. The golden surface lit up with symbols he couldn't read, but he understood the patterns. All technology had logic, even alien technology. There, he said. Your armor is now recording everything and copying the attack plans to multiple backups. Zara watched him work with amazement. You learned my technology in minutes. Human minds are remarkable. The station shook again as the Zarathi ships moved closer. Through the walls they could hear Captain Morrison talking on the radio. Prince Kex, we need more time to locate the fugitive. You have 10 minutes, human. Then we board your station and take what is ours. Jake helped Zara stand up. Her armor was now 85% repaired. She moved better but still wasn't at full strength. Jake, I need to tell you something, Zara said urgently. If my brother captures me, he won't just kill me. He'll torture me first, slowly, to make an example. You cannot let that happen. It won't happen, Jake said firmly. I know a way to the shuttle bay that avoids the main corridors. If we can get to a ship, even if we escape the station, his warships will catch us. Jake smiled. Maybe, but I have an idea about that too. They moved to the door. Jake listened carefully. No footsteps in the corridor outside. He opened it slowly and looked both ways. Empty. Follow me, he whispered. Stay close and move quietly. They crept through the station's back passages. Jake knew every pipe, every cable, every hidden route. Zara moved like a ghost behind him, her warrior training making her completely silent. They reached a junction where 3 corridors met. Jake checked his handheld scanner. Clear, the shuttle bay is just there, a voice shouted. 3 Zarathi soldiers rounded the corner. They were huge, even bigger than Zara, covered in black armor and carrying energy weapons. Their faces were hidden behind dark helmets, but Jake could see their glowing red eyes. Queen Zara, one of them said in heavily accented English. Prince Kex demands your immediate surrender. The space station shook like a toy in a child's hand. Jake Miller dropped his wrench as the lights flickered red. Warning sirens screamed through the metal halls. All hands to emergency stations. Unknown vessel approaching fast. The captain's voice echoed from every speaker. Jake ran to the nearest window. His heart stopped. A massive alien ship was spinning out of control, heading straight for them. Black smoke poured from its broken hull. Sparks flew from its damaged engines. Boom! The impact threw Jake to the floor. The station's walls bent and twisted. Pipes burst, filling the air with steam. Emergency lights blinked on and off like dying stars. We've been breached in Section 7, someone shouted over the radio. Hull integrity failing. Jake grabbed his toolkit and ran toward the crash site. His boots splashed through puddles of coolant. Other crew members ran past him going the opposite way. They were scared. Jake was scared too, but someone might need help. The corridor to Section 7 was a mess. Broken metal hung from the ceiling like sharp teeth. Sparks danced from torn electrical cables. Jake pulled out his flashlight and stepped carefully through the wreckage. The alien ship had torn a huge hole in the station side. It sat there like a golden bullet still smoking. Jake had never seen anything so beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The ship's hull was covered in strange symbols that seemed to glow in the dark. Hello? Jake called out. Is anyone alive in there? Silence. Jake found a crack in the ship's side. He squeezed through, his heart beating fast. Inside everything was huge. The walls were 3 times taller than human walls. Strange lights pulsed along the ceiling like a slow heartbeat. He followed a trail of glowing blue liquid. Alien blood, he realized. Someone was hurt. The trail led to a massive door that had been blown open. Jake stepped through and gasped. A figure lay in the center of the room, surrounded by broken glass and twisted metal. It was clearly female, but unlike any human woman Jake had ever seen. She was tall, maybe 7 feet, with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer. Her hair was silver white and spread around her head like spilled moonlight. But what made Jake's breath catch was her armor. It was golden and beautiful, covered in flowing designs that looked like ocean waves frozen in metal. But the armor was cracked and sparking. Blue energy leaked from the breaks like electric blood. Jake could see that the armor wasn't just protection, it was keeping her alive. Tubes connected to her skin, pumping some kind of life support fluid through her body. The woman's eyes were closed, but she was breathing, barely. Jake knelt beside her carefully. Up close, he could see that she was beautiful in an alien way. Her face was angular and sharp, like a warrior queen from an old story. But there was something peaceful about her sleeping expression. "Don't worry," Jake whispered. "I'm going to help you." He opened his toolkit and studied the damaged armor. The technology was beyond anything humans had created, but Jake understood machines. All machines had patterns, logic, purpose. He could see where energy flowed, where connections had broken. Jake pulled out his smallest tools and began working. The armor was warm under his fingers, alive with alien technology. He moved slowly, carefully, afraid that one wrong move might kill her. As he worked, other voices echoed from the corridor outside. "The alien ship is in Section 7. Call the military. We need soldiers. It could be dangerous. We should wait." But Jake ignored them. This wasn't a monster or a weapon lying here. This was someone who needed help. Someone who was dying. He reconnected a broken power line, and part of the armor stopped sparking. Good. Jake smiled and continued working. He had always been good with his hands, good at fixing things. His grandmother used to say he had gentle fingers, perfect for delicate work. The alien woman's breathing became stronger. Some color returned to her blue skin. Jake felt proud. He was actually helping her. Then her eyes opened. They were golden, like liquid metal in the light. For a moment, they stared at each other in silence. Jake froze, his hands still on her armor. The woman tried to speak, but only made soft sounds. She was too weak. But her golden eyes studied Jake's face, then looked down at his hands on her armor. Her expression was confused, like she couldn't understand something. Jake started to pull his hands away, afraid he was hurting her. But then she spoke, her voice soft and musical, with an accent he'd never heard before. You're touching me too gently." Jake stared at her, not understanding. Was that good? Was that bad? What did she mean? The woman's golden eyes never left his face as she whispered again. "No one has ever touched me so gently before." Jake stared into the alien woman's golden eyes, trying to understand her words. "Too gently," he repeated softly. "Am I hurting you?" The woman shook her head slowly. Her silver hair moved like liquid mercury. "No," she whispered. "You're not hurting me." "That is strange." Jake kept his hands still on her armor. The golden metal was warm and hummed with energy. "I don't understand. Should I be rough with you?" A sad smile crossed the woman's lips. "My people, we are warriors. We know only strength and force. When someone touches our armor, they grab hard, they push, they demand. But you," she looked at his gentle hands, "you touch like I am something precious." Jake felt his cheeks turn red. "Well, you are hurt. I don't want to make it worse." The woman's golden eyes widened with surprise. "You care if you hurt me? But I am your enemy, are you?" Jake asked. "Are you here to hurt us?" The woman was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke, her voice growing stronger. "My name is Zara. I was commander of the Zorathi Empire fleet, was." Jake noticed her strange choice of words. "I ran away," Zara admitted, shame in her voice. "I am no longer welcome among my people." Jake continued working on her armor as she spoke. He reconnected another broken wire and more lights came on across the golden surface. "Why did you run away?" Zara closed her eyes. "I discovered something terrible. My generals, my own people, they plan to attack peaceful worlds, planets with families with children. They want to destroy everything that cannot fight back." Jake's hands stopped moving. "That's horrible. I stole the attack plans," Zara continued. "I tried to bring them to someone who could stop this. But my own ships chased me. They shot me down." A tear rolled down her blue cheek. "I failed. Now no one will be warned." Jake looked at this alien queen lying broken and alone, crying for people she had never met. "You didn't fail. he said quietly. You're still alive. The plans are still here, aren't they? Zara nodded. Hidden in my armor's data core. But what good are they now? I am trapped here. My people will come for me. Then we'll make sure the right people see those plans, Jake said firmly. He went back to working on her armor. But first, let's get you healthy. As Jake worked, Zara watched his face with growing wonder. What is your name, gentle one? Jake Miller. I'm just an engineer here. Just an engineer, Zara repeated. In my world, engineers are slaves. They fix things and stay silent. They are beaten if they speak. Jake's hands tightened on his tools. That's wrong. You would speak against queens and generals? Zara asked, amazed. If they're doing wrong things, yes. Jake said simply. Zara stared at him like he was the alien. You are very brave, Jake Miller. I'm not brave. I'm terrified, Jake admitted with a small laugh. But that doesn't mean I shouldn't help. Outside the ship, voices grew louder. Jake could hear his crewmates talking. The military is coming. They'll want to study the alien. Maybe there's a reward for turning her in. Zara heard them too. Fear filled her golden eyes. They will give me back to my people. The Zarathi will pay well for a traitor queen. Jake saw her fear and made a decision. He had been working for 2 hours, and her armor was now 60% repaired. Zara could sit up and move her arms, though she was still weak. Can you walk? Jake asked. A little. Why? Because we're going to hide you until I can get those plans to Earth Command. Zara looked shocked. You would risk your life for me? But I am Zorathi, your enemy. Jake helped her sit up carefully. Even sitting, she was taller than him. You saved innocent people by stealing those plans. You gave up everything to warn strangers about danger. That doesn't sound like an enemy to me. Zara reached out with a shaking hand and touched Jake's face. Her fingers were long and elegant, but he could feel the calluses of a warrior. In my entire life, no one has ever been kind to me because they wanted to be. Everyone who serves me does it from fear. That sounds very lonely, Jake said softly. It is. Zara's voice was barely a whisper. I have been alone my whole life. Jake took her hand gently. Well, you're not alone anymore. Heavy footsteps echoed in the corridor outside. Military boots. Jake helped Zara stand. She was wobbly but determined. There's a maintenance tunnel behind this wall, Jake whispered. It leads to the old storage areas. No one goes there anymore. Zara nodded. Jake Miller, why are you helping me? Jake thought about it as he opened the hidden panel. Because it's the right thing to do. And because... He paused, looking into her golden eyes. Because everyone deserves kindness. As they crawled into the tunnel, Zara whispered behind him, You humans are very strange. Jake smiled in the darkness. Good strange or bad strange?